The wind howls over the endless Mongolian steppe as you enter the world, probably screaming, definitely freezing, and already fighting for survival. It's 1162, and you, Temujin, the boy who will one day become Genghis Khan, the man who will conquer half the known world, are born into a life of struggle, suffering, and betrayal. Your father? A Mongol tribal chief leading a small, struggling clan. Your mother? Stolen from another tribe, because that's how things work here. Your first moments on Earth? Not exactly royal. Oh, and one weird thing. You're born clutching a blood clot in your tiny fist. Some say this means you're destined for greatness. Others say it means you'll bring nothing but death and destruction. But right now, you're just a baby, trying not to freeze to death. Life on the Mongolian steppe is brutal. Forget castles, wealth, or comfort. Your world is vast, empty, and unforgiving. Winters are so cold they kill entire families overnight. Summers are so dry that food disappears. And Mongols, they're not farmers or city builders. They're nomads, raiders, and warriors. Your home is a felt tent, a yurt. Your dinner is whatever your parents can hunt, and your future not looking great. And then, your father is murdered. Yep, when you're just 9 years old, your dad, yes Guy, the chief of your tribe, is poisoned by rival Mongols. And you know what happens next? Your tribe abandons you, your mother and your siblings, just leaves you behind to die in the wilderness. Why? Because Mongols don't do sympathy. Without your father, your family is useless to them. So now, you're not just poor, you're an outcast, and your odds of survival close to zero. So, how do you and your family survive? You eat whatever you can find, rats, roots, bugs, and whatever won't kill you. You learn to hunt, fight, and steal. You watch your mother do everything she can to keep you alive, even as your siblings start to turn against each other. At 12 years old, you already understand two things perfectly. Nobody is coming to save you. You're going to take revenge on every single person who abandoned you. But before you get the chance, you get kidnapped. A rival Mongol tribe captures you and makes you their slave. For months, you're beaten, humiliated, and treated like property. At this point, most people would break. You escape, kill your captors, and vow to never be weak again. And just like that, the seeds of Genghis Khan are planted. By the time you're 14, life has turned you into a survivor. And then, your own brother betrays you. Your older half-brother Bekta is bigger, stronger, and wants to take over the family. He starts stealing food from you, bullying your younger brothers, and acting like he's in charge. So what do? You kill him. Cold-blooded, no hesitation. One arrow through the heart. And just like that, you've killed your first rival. Your mother, horrified. But the lesson? If someone tries to take what's yours, you don't argue. You destroy them. And that's the rule you'll follow for the rest of your life. You're 14 years old, already tougher than most grown men, and you've just killed your own brother to prove you won't be pushed around. By now, life has beaten 3 key lessons into you. Nobody is coming to help you. If you don't take power, someone else will. Loyalty is everything, but only to those who deserve it. And with those 3 lessons, you're about to go from an abandoned outcast to the deadliest leader Mongolia has ever seen. But first, you have to survive the bloodbath that is Mongol tribal politics. Mongolia, in the 12th century, it's not a country, it's a bunch of warring tribes constantly raiding, backstabbing, and betraying each other. And you have no tribe, no army, and no resources. So what do? You make alliances. You start with Jamukha, your childhood friend, now the leader of a powerful Mongol tribe. Jamukha gives you protection, horses and warriors, and in return, you swear loyalty to him for now, because deep down you're not here to serve, you're here to take everything. The first time you lead warriors into battle, you don't just win, you annihilate the enemy. Your strategy: no mercy, no retreat. Burn everything, kill everyone who resists, and reward those who join you. Within a few years, you've built a reputation. Other Mongols, they notice. Some start leaving their tribes to follow you instead. And Jamuka, he hates this. 1 minute, you're his friend. The next, you're his biggest threat. And just like that, your first real war begins. By 1186, Mongolia is split between two forces, Jamuka and the old Mongol aristocracy, the traditional warlords who rule with fear. You and your growing army made up of former slaves, outcasts and warriors who want real power. The two sides finally clash in battle. At first, Jamuka wins. He captures thousands of your men, and instead of just killing them, he boils 70 of them alive. Yeah, this is Mongolia. It's not just about winning battles. It's about proving you're the most terrifying force on the steppe. But guess what? Your revenge is coming. After Jamuka's victory, some of your men turn against you. So now, you're alone again. For the next decade, you go into hiding, gathering warriors, striking at smaller tribes, and slowly rebuilding your power. By 1201, you're back. And now you're playing for keeps. You track down everyone who betrayed you. One by one, you kill them. Jamuka, this time he loses. He's captured, brought before you, and begs for his life. Your response? You were once my brother. I will not kill you. Then you let your men do it instead. And just like that, the only man who could have challenged you is dead. By 1206, you've done something no Mongol leader ever has. You've united the tribes, and now you need a new name. So your men give you one. Genghis Khan, universal ruler. Congratulations, you've gone from an abandoned, starving orphan to the most powerful man in Mongolia. But this is just the beginning, because now you're about to conquer the world. You're Genghis Khan now, universal ruler of the Mongols. You've united the steppe, crushed your enemies, and built the most disciplined, ruthless army the world has ever seen. But ruling Mongolia, not enough. You don't just want to be the greatest Mongol warlord, you want to own the entire world. And step one, China. Because China, it's rich, it's powerful, it's an empire that thinks the Mongols are just a bunch of barbarian horsemen. Yeah, they're about to regret that. China isn't just one empire, it's split into several kingdoms fighting each other. Your first target, the Xia. They're a smaller kingdom in northwest China, and they have fortified cities, massive walls, armies that outnumber you, but they don't have you. Your strategy: surround their cities and starve them out. Destroy their food supplies, massacre anyone who resists. And when the Xia finally beg for peace, you agree, then kill their entire royal family anyway. No mercy, ever. You're not here to make alliances. You're here to show the world that nobody defies Genghis Khan and lives. Next, you turn south to face the Jin dynasty, the rulers of northern China. They control huge walled cities, massive armies, and some of the best archers in the world. They think you'll never beat them. After all, Mongols, they don't do sieges, they don't build cities, they don't break massive fortresses. They're just raiders on horseback. At least that's what they think. Because what they don't know is that you've spent years learning from every army you've beaten. So instead of charging blindly, you do something nobody expects. You learn siege warfare. You hire Chinese engineers to build catapults, battering rams and siege towers, And when your army arrives at the Jin capital of Zhongdu, modern-day Beijing, you trap the city, block every supply line, and wait. For months, the people inside slowly starve. Then, you break through the walls and slaughter them all. Over 60,000 people are massacred. The Jin emperor runs for his life. And you burn his capital to the ground. By now, the world realizes something terrifying. The Mongols, they don't just win wars, they erase entire civilizations. Your armies move faster than anyone thought possible, riding up to 100 miles a day, firing arrows with deadly accuracy from horseback, using spies to learn enemy weaknesses before they even attack. And worst of all, you use psychological warfare. When cities refuse to surrender, you massacre entire populations, leave pyramids of skulls behind as a warning, send survivors to spread fear to the next city. By the time you finish with China, entire cities surrender without a fight, because they'd rather submit than be wiped off the map. After years of war, you control northern China, Mongolia, and huge parts of Central Asia. At this point, you're richer and more powerful than any Mongol leader in history. You could stop now. You could rule in peace. But then, the Khwarezmian Empire, modern-day Iran and Afghanistan, makes the biggest mistake in history. They kill one of your trade caravans. A direct insult to you. Your response? You raise an army of 200,000 men and vow to wipe their empire off the face of the earth. And spoiler alert, you do. By 1219, Genghis Khan, ruler of the Mongols, destroyer of dynasties, master of war, have already wiped out entire kingdoms. You've crushed China, broken empires, and created the most feared army in history. But now, you're about to commit some of the worst mass killings the world has ever seen. And it all starts because of a single insult. At this point, your empire stretches from China to Central Asia. You've built a trade network, controlling the Silk Road and making yourself richer than ever. So when you send a Mongol trade caravan to the Khwarezmian Empire, modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, and parts of the Middle East, you expect business as usual. Instead, the Khwarezmian governor of Otrar decides, you know what? Let's just kill all the Mongol merchants and steal their stuff. A dumb decision. But what happens next? Even dumber, you send a diplomatic envoy to negotiate. The Shah of Khwarezm kills your envoys and sends their heads back. Yeah, you gave them a chance. You're about to erase their entire civilization. You gather 200,000 of your best warriors, the largest Mongol army ever assembled. Your plan? Not just war, absolute annihilation. And when the Mongols arrive, the Khwarezmian army, not ready. They expected raids, not a full-scale invasion. Within months, your army obliterates their defenses, burns their cities, and massacres entire populations. You trap their armies in their own cities, cut off supplies, and starve them into surrendering. Then, you kill everyone anyway. One of the richest cities in the empire, Samarkand, surrenders without a fight. They hope that by giving up, you'll spare them. No, you still burn the city down. You force thousands of civilians to march in front of your army as human shields. And when it's all over 100,000 people are dead. And that's just one city. The city of Nishapur tries to resist Mongol rule. Bad idea. After a long siege, your Mongols break in and slaughter every single person inside. And when I say everyone, I mean men, women, children, even dogs and cats. By the time your army is finished, over 1.7 million people are dead. Yes, 1.7 million. It's one of the deadliest massacres in human history. And you feel nothing. Because in your mind, they defied Genghis Khan. That means they deserved to die. After 4 years of non-stop war, you've wiped the Khwarezmian Empire off the map. The Shah runs for his life. You chase him across mountains, deserts, and frozen wastelands, until finally he dies of exhaustion. The once great Persian Empire destroyed, and with that, you own more land than anyone in history. But guess what? You're not done, because now you want Russia. But this time, you run into an enemy you can't kill, nature itself. In 1223, you send a massive Mongol force into Russia and Eastern Europe. The plan: do what you always do, burn everything, kill everyone, and take over. At first, it works. Your army destroys Russian cities, massacres entire populations, and humiliates their warriors. You hit the Dnieper River, and guess what? It's frozen, so your men try to cross it, and as soon as they step onto the ice, it cracks. Thousands of Mongols drown, freeze, or are picked off by Russian archers. For the first time in years, you actually lose men without a fight. But even that doesn't stop you, because this isn't the end. It's just another lesson in war, and next time, you'll be ready. By 1227, you Genghis Khan, the most feared man on earth, the ruler of the largest empire in history, are unstoppable. You've slaughtered millions, erased entire civilizations, and carved your name into history with blood and fire. But now, your time is running out. And the empire you built, it's already starting to break. Even after conquering China, Persia, Russia, and Central Asia, you refuse to stop. You're in your 60s now, but instead of enjoying your empire, you decide to invade Western Zhazhizhazhadli. Again. Why? Because they dared to defy you. And defying you is a death sentence. But this time, something goes wrong. During the campaign, you fall off your horse. Hard. Some say you broke your spine. Some say you caught a deadly infection. Others say it was old age finally catching up with you. Either way, you never recover. And by August 1227, after nearly 50 years of war, conquest, and slaughter, you take your last breath. Just like that. The greatest warlord in history is dead. Even in death, you refuse to be ordinary. Your final wish? Nobody can know where you're buried. So your men follow your last orders to the letter. Every witness to your funeral is killed. The soldiers who buried you, also killed. Your grave is trampled by horses to erase any trace. Legend says a river was even redirected to flow over your tomb. To this day, nobody has ever found your body, and maybe that's exactly how you wanted it. With you gone, your sons inherit the largest empire in history. But here's the thing, they are not you. Instead of staying united, they immediately start fighting each other for power, and your empire. It shatters into 4 pieces. The Golden Horde, Russia. The Chagatai Khanate, Central Asia. The Ilkhanate, Persia, and the Middle East. The Yuan dynasty, China, led by Kublai Khan. At first, they keep expanding, but then everything collapses. Your once great empire is torn apart by greed, betrayal, and rebellion. And within a century, the Mongols go from owning half the world to barely holding on to anything. So after all that, after conquering half the planet, after killing millions, after rewriting history, what did you actually leave behind? Calmly back. You created the largest empire ever at its peak. Your empire stretched across 24 million square kilometers, more land than Rome, more than the British Empire. 2. You connected the world. Your conquests opened trade routes across Asia and Europe, creating the early foundations for what would later become globalization. 3. You changed how war was fought. Your military tactics, fast cavalry, psychological warfare, total destruction of enemies are still studied today. 4. You wiped out millions, but also helped civilization grow. Yeah, you were a ruthless conqueror. But under Mongol rule, Silk Road trade flourished. Religious tolerance existed. Mongols absorbed knowledge from every civilization they conquered. You weren't just a destroyer. You were also a builder, even if that building started on top of a mountain of corpses. You fought for decades. You ruled the world. You died a legend. But did you ever really win? Because in the end, your empire crumbled. Your descendants ruined everything you built. And today, most people don't remember your cities, your laws, or your government. They just remember the death, the destruction, and the fear. So, if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you? You probably would. Because Genghis, if there was one thing you feared more than death, it was being forgotten. And guess what? You never were. That's it. That's Genghis Khan. A nobody from the Mongolian steppe who rose to become the most feared man in history. A ruler who built the biggest empire ever, only for it to fall apart the second he died. A man who, despite his brutality, became immortal. And that is why it sucked to be Genghis Khan.